Hi everybody, Michelle here. I'm a cognitive behavioral therapist and I was a firefighter for 22 years. We are talking about chapter 3 of my book, which deals with feelings. I asked you yesterday to look up an emotions chart and see all the different feelings and start to recognize how your body responds when you are having those feelings, and then get curious about what you're thinking that's creating those feelings. And now we're going to go into the most common cognitive distortions, which are tendencies or patterns of thinking that are false and inaccurate, but we still blindly follow them anyway. And they have the potential to cause psychological damage and maybe even physical damage to ourselves and our lives and our finances and our relationships and all that kind of stuff. Much of the research for this comes from Aaron Beck and David Burns, and they studied, what are the most troubling thoughts that, or ways of thinking that people have, and how, we can get them to identify these. So I'm going to go over them, and you can look at yourself and go, oh yeah, I do that, or oh yeah, Uncle Bob, he does that one all the time. So it doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It just means you're human. We all have these moments of distorted thinking. I think we pathologize a lot of stuff that really, for me, the line with pathology is whether or not you can feel empathy for others. Human beings, we have these complex brains, and so we don't have to just be predators. We can be more than that. We can be empathetic, we can help each other, we can wear our masks to show people that we care about them and how they feel. So a big problem in a lot of relationships is a lack of empathy. And you can call it being dissed, when people or dismissed, when people just dismiss your feelings and your needs. That causes a lot of problems in many relationships. We should really be able to care about what the people who are important to us or the people in our community need to feel safe. And how hard is it to put a mask on, really? Empathy is a very important emotion to have if you're not just a predator. Predators don't have empathy. I was in Africa, and on the Masai Mara, you see all the prey out there. The elephants and the giraffes and the zebras are all hanging out together, and they are nowhere near where the cats are, because they know the cats are predators, and the predators don't care if you're a little baby zebra. They'll eat you. So people can be that way too, and we'll talk more about that. Some people get thoughts and feelings confused, and they'll say, well, I feel, because we're taught to say, I feel, because that puts it back with us, but they'll say, oh, I feel that you're being nasty or whatever, blah, blah, blah. That's going to be hard to get your point to the other person. Versus if you say, I feel dissed, I feel dismissed, I feel, not cared for, it makes me feel sad. That might get somebody's attention if they have the capability to have empathy. So we're going to go over these common distortions that can happen, especially if we're triggered into our sympathetic system and we're reactive, because the brain blood flow is all wonky. So all or nothing, or polarized thinking. This can also be judging. So judging is when we've decided what's right or wrong for everybody, and we aren't respecting people's differences. So it's very short-sighted thinking. It's good for when you're scared, because if something's frightening you, you might need to split. You might need to leave. You might need to protect yourself. But if you do that all the time, you're going to get into trouble in your relationships, because being judged is not fun. I don't know anybody who loves it, So instead of judging and saying this is the right way, this is the wrong way, what you want to do is just have your own likes and dislikes. Some people like wearing the mask. I like wearing the mask. It's helping me with my allergies. It makes me feel like I'm part of the team. I'm showing people I care about them. I don't, I'm protecting them from me. It's kindness. So I like wearing the mask, and there's people who don't like wearing the mask. And, if they don't wear the mask in the places that they want to go, where the people want them to wear the masks, they're going to get kicked out. And that has nothing to do with American freedom. It's part of being in a community. So there's a lot of distorted thinking going on out there. But I'm not going to tell somebody else what's right for them. If you don't want to wear a mask, that's great. Just stay away from all of us. And I've had to get a collapsible baton I've been yelled at for asking a guy to get further away from me. So I'm ready to protect myself. I don't want to have to do that, but if I have to, I have to, and that's our world today. And we're going to talk more about protection too. So all or nothing, or judging, or polarized thinking is the number one, actually, type of distorted thinking. It's very common. Another one is overgeneralizing. So overgeneralizing is where we focus on a single negative thing and we exclude all the positive things. So one partner, in the relationship makes a comment, or you see this all the time on the news channels, somebody makes a comment and the other person just jumps on that, and that's all they focus on. They don't focus on any of the other positive things that the person might have said or anything like that. And this can foster a negative view of everything, which, there we go. Then how's your reality gonna look? On the flip side, there's disqualifying the positive. So this one only acknowledges the positive experience, but it rejects them instead of embracing them. So one person receives a good review at work, and they reject the idea that they're a good employee, and they think, oh, that was just lucky. That was just a lucky break. So there's really no productive, good things that come out of this thinking. So these are some of the thinking that you choose to have, and thinking is a choice for most of us. Some of us, maybe our brains are too far gone that we can't make these changes, but you can try. And they may not last forever, but it's better than not trying, I think. So, I'm at 8 minutes. All right, so we've covered the all or nothing, the mental filter, and where we exclude all the positive and we disqualify the positive. Sounds kind of similar, but there's little subtleties. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have about mental health that you think I can answer. And tomorrow we're going to talk about jumping to conclusions and mind reading, other cognitive distortions. All right, I'll see you tomorrow.